Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another PGR reaction. Today we have one I did not know existed until somebody left it in the comments. Nakira Kira threw this in here. Overburning. This is a collaboration they did with Keiki Kobayashi, and I've listened to some stuff from Ace Combat and I've loved his work. So like now I'm really excited to hear what this blend could be. I don't know if they're gonna have multiple people on it or anything. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be Keiki Kobayashi, but I am excited enough just to hear more of Kobayashi's work. He just has some phenomenal orchestral stuff, and I can't wait to see how that blends into this world a little bit. Not that I know too much about the PGR lore, but I've heard enough of the songs that I kind of get a feel for the music at least, so maybe we'll get a little bit of that in reference. Maybe we'll have some themes in here, some motifs. Maybe I'll recognize them, maybe I won't, but we won't know if I don't start. So without further ado, let's go! Okay. Is that 6/8? That's a weird time signature. I'm not sure if that's right. It might be 6/8. Maybe I got that right. Am I improving? Interesting to start out there, like right off the bat, coming in with something a little bit different. Just like Kobayashi. Talking like I know him that well. It's definitely a different feeling right off the bat from the stuff in Ace Combat. Really musical percussion work here. He's always been really good with that though. Making sure the accents are right where they need to be. Having a little bit of fun with it instead of just throwing in a basic beat. But I'm feeling so much build up here. I gotta know where it's gonna go. I really like the subtle feathering on the snare there, like really light ghost notes, kind of. Was that like a helicopter in there? Yeah, that synth sound. It must be trying to invoke that feeling of a helicopter above your head. That's so clever. Double build up, letting it swell a little bit more for releasing it. Such a good idea. And it still felt smooth. Didn't feel forced. Oh man. This definitely feels more modern than some of the other stuff he's made. But I've only ever heard the stuff from Ace Combat, I'm pretty sure. But maybe that modern approach is what PGR wanted from him. Ooh. Kind of bummed, though, that they cut it off there at the end. I was hoping to let that trail go. It just cut, and I was like, that a little bit, they could have just let it go a little bit longer just to let it really decay. But yeah, I'm not gonna fault him for that one. I'm sure he did it, but the uploader didn't for some reason. Just kind of weird there. This one was really cool and kind of caught me off guard, if only for the fact that it was surprisingly conservative in a lot of ways. I'm used to hearing these gigantic orchestral buildups out of Ace Combat. I've heard songs that don't have that from Kobayashi, of course, but at the same time, I'm just so used to it that I was kind of waiting waiting for it to build up to something huge. That one spot where it like doubled up and then released was kind of giving me more of that push and pull I was waiting to hear and feel, and I'm glad he threw it in there. Just a little bit of that spice, you know? The things that make a composer great are the things that are identifiable to them and the way that they personally create songs, and this is kind of exactly that. It's definitely a little bit more modern. It still has all the stuff you know and love from the Ace Combat feel, but at the same time, it's clearly not Ace Combat, and that's great. It means that Keiki Kobayashi isn't somebody who throws themselves into this one niche and doesn't do anything else. Of course, you're going to have a little bit of similarity in different stuff, but I think that was also part of the thing here. I think that was part of the vibe with the dog tags and the whole thing being very obviously like sky and like war oriented. It's like, okay, sure. So you're going for the similar thing here. That's probably why they hired him. At the same time, I hope somebody with talent like this isn't getting like typecast as the composer of those sorts of games. I hope this was more of like a love letter sort of thing, because that's more what it felt like. The song had enough of that similar vibe, but was definitely unique and identifiable in itself. So I feel like it was definitely a love letter, not so much a, hey, let's hire the guy who's good at this and just have them do that. I wouldn't be surprised, given how big Ace Combat is, if there was some sort of correlation with the two. Not necessarily that they're in the same universe or anything, but maybe like the devs are a fan of it and they were just like, yes, we can work with him. And so they decided to, and they had this one character that fit the theme, and they're like, we know exactly who we want on this. That I could totally understand if that was the case. I just really hope it's not somebody going, you know, let's get that one guy, you know, the one who's popular, you know, just to get him because we know that people will show up, because that would feel like a punch to the gut to me, at least. I feel like that would be an insult almost to Kobayashi's work. I don't want that to be the case, and I hope it's not. I hope it's more of a love letter thing. That tends to be the case with these games. When they make something that's a collaboration or they pull somebody in from something else, they want to work together. That's the whole reason they work together, and it's not something that they're just doing for the sake of the money. But like I already said, this has all the familiarity you would want. It has all those similar features, and it still feels so good. All of the swells, all of the emotion in it. It didn't feel aggressive. It felt contemplative. It felt like you were flying, but also thinking about it. You were actively, cognitively aware of the situation and happenings around you. This wasn't one of those like, oh God, it's a battle, it's a dogfight in the air, everybody duck, you know, it's not that vibe. This was a lot more of a story-based thing, I think. It had a lot more of that emotion to it, where it was feeling like you were kind of reminiscing a little bit, maybe. It has a little bit of that nostalgic edge to it, and I think that might just be how Kobayashi writes too, because a lot of his music does have that feel to it. But I also have that general feeling with music in the sky as a whole. I just did a different video that had a similar kind of thing going on with it sounding like the sky, and I talked more about my feelings on how that relates to me and why I think it's like that. But I think that's kind of what happened here. They needed a song with that sort of vibe. They got the guy known for that sort of vibe because they respect his work, and we got a great song out of it. This is so good. Again, a little conservative, and I'm kind of surprised about that, but at the same time, if that's the emotion you're going for, then it's perfect, you know? You have something that's holding you back a little bit in this song. That's why it feels so contemplative. You're kind of figuring it out. It's that, like, the light on the edge of the horizon. You're like, okay, where's the island I'm flying to? There it is. Like, you have to think about it a little bit, start narrowing in on the details, and this song does that a little bit, and I like that feeling too. As much as I love the dogfight, high energy stuff, this stuff is what makes a story about war go to a story about the people in a war, you know? So I feel like that's what's happening here. They had a character that has that sort of a backstory or that sort of a job in the PGR universe, and they were like, we know exactly who to get. I've said that like 3 or 4 times now, but I think it just bears repeating, because if you're gonna get it, you gotta get the guy, you know what I mean? You gotta get the person who's good at it, and I'm sure that they were hyped to do it as well. But I've kind of been talking in circles on this one, so I will end it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. I shouldn't have any more delays like we had with Paradox. That should be completely under the bridge now, so we should be good to go for any new stuff as well, so I shouldn't be pushing things off in time. So if you have anything you want me to get to, new, old, doesn't really matter, throw it my way, drop it in the comments, and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if otherwise you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!